up to video number 8, talking about how to create a demand for your DJ services with Dr. Drax. In video 8, we're going to talk about kind of a mini, it's part of our three video series here inside this, and this we're talking about how to dazzle with your performance. We talked about planning is important. We've talked about MC is important. Now it's time to talk about mixing the music and how we perform that music or play that music. And Drax, one of the things that as when we first started and we went back a million years in the way we present the music, I'm going to call it, has changed from what it was then to what it is today.
Absolutely.
Let's talk a bit about the importance of some things that people need to remember when it comes to playing the music.
Beat mixing is a fundamental skill that should be in every DJ's toolbox, period.
And that really wasn't something that 20 years ago that, I mean, yes, it was nice and some people had it. Most people didn't. Today, I think you're right. It's mandatory.
It doesn't mean you have to be scratch mixing. Too often people equate beat mixing to be scratch mixing. And there's a place for scratch and there's a place where it's not. There's a place for beat mixing. If you learn the concept of beat mixing, then learn the concept of harmonic mixing. That's mixing in key. That means you can take a country song and blend it into a hip hop song because the key values are right and the BPMs are reasonable. You can make those two blend together and people go, oh my gosh. Something else that I think is over is playing the whole song.
I would agree.
That's just over. You want to create a fluid train of music. And again, Curtis Whipple defines this as an arc. You want to take people up and then you want to bring them down. And the reason you do that is that creates emotional moments. It creates energy moments. And if you play the whole song, and I'm not saying you can't, but I advise against it because A, it'll let you get more songs in during the time. And we've all had a song or two that were really popular, but largely the hook and one verse was about all that you really needed to do. In fact, if you remember the song Shut Up and Dance, I would play that song with just the verse and a chorus, and then I would mix to something else, and then I would come back where the other one was expecting a chorus line, and I would come back with Shut Up and Dance with Me.
Sure.
Why? Because it became a cool element. So over the night, I could just get ready. I could just hit the button and go, shut up and dance with me. And people would immediately just start singing because they know it's coming. Creating sing-alongs is a great way to make events take big energy, because it makes them inclusively involved more than just moving on the dance floor. Mixing is something that's important, but not just beat mixing. Mixing music, again, understanding the need for arcs. How many of you practice mixing? Practice. Do you practice your mixing skills every day? You should. Yeah, I used to practice 2 to 3 hours a day, trying new things, new song mixes, trying to figure out how to bridge two songs together that wouldn't go. That's when I discovered harmonic mixing, and I went, oh, the Holy Land.
Yeah. Wow, this sounds so much better.
Exactly. So don't be afraid to mix. I mean, everybody's anti-sync button, but honestly, the sync button is better than just running dead music, running it to the end and
fade out
and fade in. I mean, and there was a point in time I used to do some of that, and I would have a prompt bridge that would essentially, I'm mixing them together very close, and I'm talking over it because this one fades down, but this one doesn't fade up. This one has a sharp uptick. I'd use the fade down to keep the energy where I wanted by talking it into the next song. And that's a perfectly good way to do. You can use loops and things. One of the things I love is Promo Only's intro edits because they give you this nice beat coming into the song that lets you transition from a lot of materials. I love the fact that they produce something called quick edits. They're exactly what we're talking about. Shortened versions of the song that are just the meat. But you'll never be good at mixing unless you actually do it and do it often and practice it. There's a contest coming up at Mobile Beat to find the guy that's going to replace Jason Jani as the onstage DJ.
Yep.
I got to tell you, I don't want to be that guy.
I would agree.
Jason is an incredible mixer. Would I maybe think about it 2 or 3 years down the road if I was still young? Yeah, maybe. But I don't want to be that first guy, because that first guy is going to always be compared to Jason, who, you know, is probably one of the coolest mixers out there because of the things we just talked about. He doesn't always play the whole song. He blends genres and themes together. And guess what? That's an important thing. Mm-hmm. That creates arcs. It creates the moments that you want. Like, for example, if you're going to bring the party down to have a formal dance, well, the easiest way to do it is, rather than going from shut up and dance with me to, oh, we're going to now have a first dance. So why don't you all leave the floor, bring your arc down. Some will naturally migrate away. And then as you come down to it's a slow song. After that, it becomes an easy transition to open the floor for this special dance that'll be the mother-son, for example, or what have you. Have transitions in your music. Mm-hmm. Instead of having to, you know, have cold stops, have things that bring it down where you want it, that create the energy bridge for you to go, all right, we're going to have a mother-son dance tonight. Boom, done. Those things are what make a great mixer. Letting the music talk and lead people where you need it to go.
And again, I can't overemphasize the practice enough.
Practice.
Jason Jani is the man's talented, but he's talked about that, about the amount of time he puts in and trying mixes and hitting the different things and setting up cue points and all these different things that are part of his show.
Well, and he studies music. He studies the music. He knows what music is. You don't have to be a musician, but you kind of should learn what bridges are. You should learn how to do those things in a meaningful way. Study music. Keep up on it. Practice mixes. Practice how you want to bring a transition to an announcement that you want to make. Practice. That will make you a great mixer.
And that will help create that excellence that will make you a in-demand DJ service. So that's video 8. And that finishes up our kind of little 3-part mini-series in this. Next, we're going to be coming back with video 9. And if you've just joined in the playlist, or this down below in the description is the link for the full playlist. In video 9, we're going to talk about the importance of branding and how that fits into help creating that demand for your DJ service. So if you're watching a playlist, video 9 will start in just one moment.